Welcome back to Loose Women's Breast Cancer Awareness Special. Now, along with her sisters, our final guest today was part of one of Britain's original and indeed biggest girl bands, the Nolan sisters. After the band split, she achieved critical acclaim as a star of the stage in the West End. Indeed, 5 years ago, it was to the stage she took mere hours after being diagnosed with aggressive breast cancer. Here to tell us her inspiring story of how the show and her life went on, Linda Nolan. What was that night like, then?
Oh, well, you know, I wasn't being a hero or anything. I'd had this lump and, you know, I'm ashamed to say that I left it. Having heard everything that went on today, I know it was the wrong thing to do, and it was just because I thought I've got to do this contract.
How long did you live it for?
Don't ask me. Too long. Too long. I had aggressive stage 3 breast cancer, and my lump was kind of this long, and this, it was, you know...
Was that anything to do with fear, though? Because sometimes, you know something's wrong, but you put it off.
I mean, I remember saying to Colleen, she was the one that I kind of went to, and I said to her, I don't think this is going to be good news, you know. And she said, well, make sure you get it sorted, because I was going away to Northern Ireland. And eventually I did go, and yes, it was in between shows. I had a 3-needle biopsy before the show on the Wednesday, before 2 shows. Yep. And then on the Friday, I went back to get my results, and Brian, my husband, had cancer, and his people had said to him, well, you won't know if it's breast cancer or anything, you know. I mean, a Macmillan nurse would have been there and everything. We went back to get the results, and this lady came out and said, hello, I'm Kathy, I'm the Macmillan nurse. So we both went, that's it then. But
had you not had a sort of a scare in your 20s?
I had a blocked milk duct, apparently, and I'd been, straight away I went, I was scared to death, but I went, and like everybody has said, the mammogram is really, you just dread it. It's like anything, any procedure, you dread it, but honestly, it's over in 2 minutes, and...
But that wasn't anything, so I
that wasn't
suppose
anything,
when it happened again...
Yeah, so I just kept having that check, because every time I went to the doctor with anything, then they would check that, and it was still the same thing, and then it developed into this lump, and I was just foolish, really, but, you know, I'm not proud of it, and as a result, I've had to have a mastectomy, you know, of my left breast. This is my new one. And this one's a bit lifted as well. But that was all because I was very brave. Yes, while you're in there, could you just hoik the other one up? And I think that's why I'm such a... You know, there's so many fabulous charities around, but I kind of stick at the moment with the breast cancer campaign, because they're doing research, and they're... in fact, they've got my bra over the building at the moment.
Yeah. Well, we saw it.
I had to wear a white bra today because they borrowed my pink. But yeah, and they do great research, and you know, into treatment, into diagnosis, early diagnosis, and all of that, and hopefully eventually a cure. You know?
So how did your sisters really build? I've heard that you called it the Nolan Wall.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
when
really
anything
sweet,
happens, you know, in our family, it doesn't matter if there's, you know, if we haven't been speaking, whatever. If anything, you know, bad happens, like when I lost my husband or with breast cancer, you make a phone call and they just come from all.
But it's interesting. You also say that if you don't have that family support, there are people that you can talk to.
Absolutely. I mean, again, my first thought when they said that I had to have chemotherapy was, oh, you know, I'm going to die. It wasn't that. It was I'm going to lose my hair. And, you know, at the time, I didn't say that to anyone because I was a little bit embarrassed about feeling that when people are going to try and save your life. Yes. But I found out since that a lot of women think that. And it's okay to think that because you're losing some, you know, your femininity is at risk here.
Also, if you look like your old self, you think you can maybe feel like
Well, I was the Nolan with the big boobs and the blonde hair. You know, we all got little labels, and all of a sudden it was all going. And thankfully, I didn't lose my hair thanks to the coal cap, which, again, a lot of people don't know about.
Right.
And
it's a treatment.
Yeah, they take this cap out of the fridge. They put a block of ice on your head. They freeze the hair follicles, and the chemo, in a lot of cases, doesn't get to the roots of the hair. And so, although I lost a lot of my hair, I didn't actually go bald. It didn't work for Bernie. So she was much braver than me. She shaved it all off.
We hear you've got a special anniversary in February. Could you tell us about that?
That's right. In February of this year, I was discharged. I've had my 5-year all clear. I think will be giving me the all clear in November, so it's all been great news. Bernie's really well. Anne is 10 years down the line, so we are proof that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Linda, do you know what? That is just isn't that wonderful? It's fantastic.
Can I just say happy birthday to Kenneth, who's in hospital?
Very quickly, very
happy birthday,
Kenneth. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing. Linda Nolan, everybody.
Thank you.
We cannot fit any more into this show today and what a show it's been. Thank you so much to all of our guests who've shared their...